My next guest was one of the big winners last weekend at UFC Vegas 68, getting it done in the first round. It is Adam Fugitt back here on the program. Adam, how are you, man?
Doing good, man. Just riding the wave of emotions. I was up there on cloud nine, and now I'm finally back home. I got home yesterday, so slowly starting to have a little come down, and it's like, it's probably time to get back to work.
Yeah, no, that's always the mindset, right? But first UFC victory, that's a big one. How does it feel? Because I know it was a long road for you to get to the UFC.
Oh man, it was a dream come true, and man, it was everybody's like, how do you feel after your first fight? And I always felt like, okay, I got there, but I didn't accomplish what I set out to do. And I don't, just me personally, I don't believe you're a UFC fighter until you get the W. So it was nice to get that out of the way, and now I get to represent the letters. Oh, they're over here. I think I did that last interview too. I get to represent the letters now proudly and say, hey, I got there. I won my fight. I'm a UFC fighter.
Could that fight have gone any better? Minus the head kick, obviously.
Everybody's talking about that. Yeah, man. That could have definitely went differently had that head kick landed as clean as it could have. He kind of turned his knee over a little too much, and I caught more of his calf muscle than his shin. And I'm not even sure if it really got me in the head that much. Maybe it kind of grazed my shoulder, but anyways, yeah. The build up to the fight, you always you're living in that moment. You're visualizing, or at least I'm visualizing multiple scenarios, and I said, and I think it was on this interview as well, I said, I want that KO finish. And that's something I have been trying to visualize and kind of manifest. And as we got closer to the date, that vision was just blurry. It wasn't as clear. And what was very clear was this vision of me getting into mount on top and finishing with strikes. And that almost just started coming out in an HD style look. And so, I wanted the KO, but I also retracted and said, I don't think that's going to be there. I'm just not coming clear through. But I'm going to go there, and I'm looking for the finish no matter what. So even if I got to take it on the ground, then that's what happened. So, it couldn't have went any better.
Looking back, anything surprise you about him as an opponent?
Yeah. He definitely changed up his strategy a little bit. I thought he was going to be much more aggressive, much more kind of impatient, in those last ones you kind of see him. He has that talent in that left hand, which I experienced. That left hand, I knew it was coming. I thought I prepared enough for it, and it still snuck through there once or twice. And I mean, it's a great punch for him. But I thought he was going to be a little more reckless with his forward pressure, but no, training with Henry Hoof down there in Florida definitely changed up his game plan. He was pressure fighting me a little more. Something I like to do to people, just kind of put that pressure on, but not. It's almost like a non-committal thing. You're in that spot. You're like a step or a half a step out, and you can land. And he did really good at just like pressure me right there. And so he wasn't as aggressive as I thought he was going to be, which kind of threw me for a loop. I was anticipating him blitzing in more and having to really stop him and keep him out there with either my lead kick or my teep or my jab. And so that didn't happen as quickly as I thought it would. Although it did happen about midway through, I hit him with a nice clean jab. And if you go back and watch the fight, I can definitely say I think the pinpointed that spot where I kind of earned his respect and got him off of me a little bit. So he definitely, he made some good adjustments going on this one. So threw me for a loop a little bit.
Mentioned it there, big milestone, first UFC win, a finish. It's an early night for you. You don't have to go the 3 rounds. How do you celebrate after a big win like that?
I never been to a dance nightclub in Vegas like that,
Yeah.
So I hit my management up afterwards, like, hey, where's the after party? What can we do? And so they got me into a big dance nightclub. And, oh my gosh, I'm spacing the name, so I'm not going to do them any justice.
That's probably a good thing if you don't remember. It means you had a good night, right? So
it was a good night. I'm not a big drinker, so we got we did get some drinks in us, and got a little bit of a buzz going on, and did a little dancing, and went back, and then we had a nice meal after that. I believe we had what did I have? Oh, I had a nice burger, a big greasy burger, and hey, completed the night.
That's great. Did you see the betting odds going into the fight? I don't know if you caught that. I know you guys can't bet anymore, but I was just curious if you saw the line.
I'm guessing I was the underdog.
Like a decent one. That's actually what surprised me a little bit, just because of, I mean, you look at your experience and just even your debut, which, again, you lost, but it was a very, like, I thought you had a good performance in that one. But I was curious, did you have a lot of people after the fact saying they won money on your fight? Because the odds on you winning, especially I imagine by knockout, would have been crazy odds as far as a profit.
Yeah, I've had I worked a job for 9 years here in Eugene or in Springfield, and my boss, my manager, who's always been a huge supporter, ended up flying out and going to the buying tickets to the Apex, and he text messaged me afterwards. Mind you, he's the first person I saw when I'm about to walk out to the cage. Which,
okay.
It's amazing to know that you have somebody in the arena rooting for you, like that. And so he text messaged me after me. He's like, congratulations, you did freaking awesome. He's like, you paid for my Apex tickets. I bet.
Oh, cool.
You. So, hey, I'm glad it paid off for him. It's, I'm stoked that he bet on me, and, yeah, it's kind of cool to hear that, I've had multiple people reach out and say that they put money down on me. And
any like big money though, like anyone win any like, a couple grand or anything? Because again, the odds were crazy, especially like I said, the first round prop or knockout prop, or even just you straight up. I think you were like plus 290 or something.
Yeah, no, my boss definitely, he won a couple grand, but no, Drake didn't hit me up or on Twitter or anything.
Not yet anyways. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but, for sure.
Maybe
your boss
Vegas
owes you a steak
learn.
dinner though, don't you think? Like you did your part of the bargain. He should take you out to a nice steakhouse after. What do you think of that?
I think we're going to end up doing that.
There you go.
If he's not taking me out to the steak dinner, he's going to have me over for some steaks. So yeah, I think I'm doing that this weekend.
Got to have, but listen, grass-fed steak, New York, something good. None of those cheap steaks that you get from the grocery store. You got to get the good ones. So
we'll be going out to. He'll probably be going to Long's. It's a butcher here in town. And,
oh, cool.
So I don't know if I don't know what he'll get, but I'm guessing it's going to be some kind of like a porterhouse or a filet mignon or something.
Something Tony Soprano would eat, like a mob boss dinner type thing.
There we go.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. When are you looking to get back in there? It looked like you didn't take much damage. Are you hoping to get a quick turnaround, or what's sort of the ideal time for you to have that next fight?
I'm realistically for this year. I want to try to get 3 more fights in this year. Not try. That's what I want to accomplish for sure. Start manifesting that, using the right words, I guess. But I'm going to be in touch with my management here pretty quickly and see what they have available and see what they're thinking. But hopefully, I just kind of like in passing, they threw out something like potentially June, which
nice.
I mean, let's go. My coach was kind of wanting to elbow bump me when they asked me after the fight, how soon I want to get back in there. And I made the comment like, I'm not accustomed to taking a short notice. We all know I have no problem taking a short notice fight. And he was like, hey, come on, we like these training camps, Yeah,
the full camps are nice. That's true. Yeah.
So he didn't want me to put my foot in my mouth, but I want to get back in there. Everybody brings up the age. I don't really think it's that big of a thing, but I guess my age, I want to make up for lost time. I'm just now getting here. I want to put in some more hours in the UFC cage.
Any opponents of mine? Any fights you look at in the division, say, hey, that would be a fun fight, or is that more leaving that up to your coaches and management?
I definitely need to start doing my research on that. But I just kind of feel like at this point, I'm kind of like the gatekeeper. They put me up against 2. Mike Morales is a huge up and coming prospect, and Kinoshita is a young prospect. So I kind of feel like they view me as the gatekeeper right now, and so I feel like it's a little outside of my wheelhouse right now to be calling anybody out. But I definitely want to do some more research on that and see, where do I line up in the division? What got because it would be a cliche for me to call out somebody like a Jorge Masvidal or a Gilbert Burns or any of those guys. That I can't. I'm not touching those guys. They're way up the ladder. So I want to be a professional about it. I want to, if I'm going to call somebody out, I want it to make sense. I want it to, be intriguing for them as well. Oh, this guy called me out. Cool. Let's do this, So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Okay. And before we get out of here, a question I kind of have for a lot of people that live kind of in your area, Pacific Northwest, so to speak. I guess, is Portland still considered Pacific Northwest? I guess it is, right? So
yeah.
Yeah. So I live in Vancouver, Canada, which isn't too far away from where you live. But I've been asking all the fighters. Seattle seems like a no-brainer destination for the UFC. They have the new hockey team now. They built a new arena. It seems like that would make sense. There's a lot of fighters that live in Washington State, and then also people like yourself who live in Oregon. Is that something that would interest you at all in terms of having a card there? It would be a little bit closer than some of the other spots you fought.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
I did a lot of Muay Thai fighting in the Washington and Vancouver, BC area back.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. So you've been up my way then. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been up there twice. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, twice.
What'd you think? Yeah, did it live up to the hype? Because it's we got some nice mountains here.
It was beautiful. I also remember taking a trip as a kid with my family up to Vancouver, BC, and then through to is it the Victorian Island?
Yeah, Victoria. Yeah, it's just Victoria. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We went up there for a family vacation. It's beautiful up there. So yeah.
There you go.
The Pacific Northwest, I think is they don't get the enough they don't get enough events up there. Hardly any in our sport, but like. We lost the Seattle Supersonics.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Do you want to hear my experience growing up here? I'll mention this quickly. This is probably going to apply to like not anyone in the audience, but I want to mention this anyway. So I born and raised in Vancouver, grew up a Grizzlies fan, right?
Yeah.
What happened? Grizzlies left. They moved to Memphis. Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, no worries. We got the Supersonics 3 hours down the I-9, right? Or whatever it is, the highway to get down there. And then they move. So I don't have a team. It's been tough, but I definitely, as a kid, I went to Grizzlies games. I remember that.
100%. No, I remember. Just a few years of the Seattle Supersonics and the Grizzlies.
They had good teams. Sean Kemp, Gary Payton. Back in the day, they drafted Kevin Durant. People forget that too. Like they had good teams. Ray Allen, when he played for them, he was great.
100%. And So Gary Payton was another one. So yeah, anytime anybody asks me, when they see me with my Portland Trailblazers hat, they're like, "You're a basketball fan?" I'm like, "They're only pro sports team." I gotta show them love. I gotta support them, and I do love me some Damian Lillard. The guys, I love his mentality and his dedication to the grind and not wanting to leave Portland. I really appreciate that. So yeah, definitely got to support your sports. Because we always kind of just get some slack. Nobody wants to come out here and put on shows. So if the UFC ever wants to go up that way towards Seattle,
Portland's where it's at. Yeah, I agree.
Put me on that card. Let's do it.
Yeah, you're just bringing me down memory lane. I remember back in the day, remember the Jailblazers, Rasheed Wallace. Oh man, that
Brian Grant.
Yep. Oh man,
David
you're speaking my language.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, those are so memorable. Those teams. I remember the rivalry with the Lakers. It was awesome back in the '90s. So you're around my age, so we can kind of talk about this. Most people watching this have no idea what we're talking about. So there we go. But Adam, don't want to keep you too long, man. I know you got to enjoy some good food and a nice rest of the week here. If there's anyone you'd like to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
For sure. You can find me on my Instagram. It's my initials AMF170MMA on Instagram. I'm going to give a shout out to Iridium Sports for helping me, get me to this next level in the UFC. Peter Johannes, another one of my managers. Thank you so much. Shout out to Art of War MMA, the whole Art of War MMA team, Jason Georgiana, my head coach, Cobb Tongsai of Tongsai's Muay Thai, and Josh Atkins of Tongsai Muay Thai. Thank you. Those are the guys that are my corner, my team that was around me, that went out with me and supported me. So I really appreciate those guys.